Hello and welcome to Pabbly. So today we are going to discuss the top 5 Typeform automations that you can set up with Pabbly Connect. So Typeform is one of the most popular online form building applications used by a lot of users. And there are some tasks related to Typeform that you can automate with Pabbly Connect. Whether it can be adding the new form submission data to your Google Sheet, or creating some new documents, or creating some content from AI platforms using the form submission responses as well. If you want, you can automate the process of sharing or sending the form responses as you receive them instantly to your team members on Slack or Google Chats as well. The possibilities of automation are endless. So without any further delay, let's start with this complete guide and understand in the step-by-step manner that how you can set up all of these automation all by yourself.
In this video, we are going to understand how to add or update row in Google Sheets from new form response. So every time you receive a new response through any form builder application, now you want that if that particular information is already there in your Google Sheet, then it should be updated. And if it is not there, then it should be added as a new row. Now how can you do that? For this, you will have to integrate these two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. So here your trigger application will be Typeform and your action application will be Google Sheets. Now how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and here we have reached the landing page. On the right hand side, we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab, sign up. It is not going to take more than 2 minutes. Now since I'm an existing user, I'm simply going to click on sign in. And as I do that, we have reached all applications page. These are the various products of Pabbly, and I'm going to click on access now for Pabbly Connect as we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software. Now we have reached the dashboard. On the right hand side, there's a tab create workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Here you can give any random name. What is my objective here? My objective is every time through any form builder application I have received a new response, a lead, then I want to first check if that lead already exists in my spreadsheet. Here I am taking the example of a Google Sheet. Then if it exists, then it should just update the value, and if it does not exist, then the value should be added as a new row in my Google Sheet. So I'm going to name it as add or update row in Google Sheets from new form response. Now I'm going to click on create. As I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important modules. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application will be Typeform. As I'm using Typeform as the form builder application, you can use any other form builder application as well. Now the trigger event. So this is the event that is going to make this workflow run, and here it would be new entry. Let's click on connect. As I do that, here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Typeform account. I'm going to click on add new connection, connect with Typeform. As I do that, here we have to provide the authorization. So I'm going to go down and click on accept. As I do that, we can see that the authorization has been successful, which means that Typeform and Pabbly Connect are now connected. Here we have to enter the name of the form. So before I do that, let me take you to my Typeform account. So these are the various forms that I already have created. So here we have this appointment form. Let's click on this. And now here we have got the 4 different fields: first name, last name, phone number and email address. Now if you wish to add more fields, you can always do that. Just click on this plus icon and you would be able to add a new question. So I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, and here we are going to enter appointment. Let's click on save and send test request. And as we do that, here we can see it is written that now do a test submission in that application in order to capture the response here, which means that now we are supposed to fill up a form, a mock form, so that we can understand if Typeform and Pabbly Connect are now properly integrated. So I'm going to take you back to Typeform. Here I'm going to click on publish. As I do that, we have received the link of the form. I'm going to copy this and open this in a new tab. As I do that, here we have to fill in the information. So now let's say that my information here is first name is Smart, then the last name here is user, then we have the phone number, and then we have the email address. So once I have entered, you can see the form has been submitted. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, and here you can see that we have received the API response. So let me take you down, and yes, here you can see we have received the first name, last name, then here is the last name, then we have the mobile number, and here is the email address. Now what is my objective? That once I have received the response, first it should check whether this particular response already exists in my Google Sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my action application here as Google Sheet. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to look up spreadsheet rows. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Sheets account. I'm going to select add new connection, sign in with Google. We have to provide the account. And once done, here Pabbly Connect Sheets wants to access my Google account. This is absolutely secure. Let's click on allow. And as we do that, you can see that the authorization has been successful, which means that Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect are now connected. Now here we have to enter the name of the spreadsheet. So it is new leads, and since there was only one sheet, so it has already been captured by the system. Let me show you the sheet that I have created. So this is the new leads spreadsheet. There is only one sheet. The name is sheet 1. Here I have got 4 column fields: first name, last name, email address, and contact number. And I already have got 2 contacts. Now taking you back to Pabbly Connect. What is the lookup column? So my lookup column here is the email address. So I'm going to take C as my lookup column. Now what is the lookup value? So it is the email address. So I'm going to click on this. Here you can see the previous step. So I'm going to look for the email address here. Here it is. And then I'm going to click on save and send test request. Now you can see that I have received the response, and this shows that this particular user already exists. Now this method with which I have added the information is known as mapping, and this is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Now since this particular user already exists, so I'm just going to update the row value. What if this user did not exist? Then I will have to create a new row. So now since I have got conditions, I'm going to use a feature by Pabbly which is router, which is going to help us in providing conditions. Here you can see it is written that router step allows to execute different actions based on the filter conditions you set. So this is route 1. Here I am going to rename this route, and I'm going to write update contact. So let's click on update. Now I'm going to set filter and action step. So here I'm going to go to Google Sheet, step 2, and here I'm going to go to row index. Now if this row index exists, then this workflow should continue. So let's click on save and send test request. And here you can see that I have received the status which is a success. The condition is true. Now, if this row index is already there, which means that I just need to update the cell value. So I'm going to click on add action step. Here I'm going to choose my action application as Google Sheets. Let's click on this. And the action event would be to update row. Let's click on this, click on connect. And here I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. Now once done, here we have to select the spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet. You can see the sheet has already been selected by the system. Here we have to map the row index. Let's go to step 2. This here is the row index. Then we have to map the first name. So I'm going to go to step 1. And here we have to map the first name, which is Smart. Then the last name here is, this is the last name. Then the email address. So here I'm going to look for the email address. And then we have to enter the contact number. So again, let's look for the contact number. Here it is. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So you can see I've received the response. Let's take you to my Google Sheet, and no new row has been added because this particular value has been updated. Now I'm going to go ahead with my route 2. So here I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to make it new contact. Let's click on update, set filter and action steps. Here I'm going to go to step 2, row index, and here I'm going to make it does not exist. So if the contact doesn't exist, so there won't be any row index. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. and here you can see the condition is false. If the condition is false, which means if there is no row with that value, then it is going to be Google Sheets once again. Here it is, and this time I'm going to add a new row. Let's click on connect. So here again I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. Now let's select the spreadsheet. The sheet has already been selected by the system, you can see that. Now the first name. So here the first name will be, so again I'm going to go to step 1 and I'm going to go down, and this here is the first name. Then we have the last name, so let's go down, and this here is the last name. Then we have the email address, so let's look for the email address. Here it is. And the final thing is the contact number. So here I'm going to go to Typeform and look for the phone number. So once done, let's click on save and send test request. You can see that I have received the response. So as I click on save and send test request, this is the response that I have received, and here you can see that it would be added like this. Now this is just to show you how it is going to be added as a new row here. Now I'm going to check this integration in real time. So now I'm going to take you back to my Typeform account, and here let's click on share once again. So I'm going to copy this link once again and open this in a new tab here. So now let's enter my first name. So this time let it be demo. Then the last name here is type. Then we have the phone number, and then we have the email address, which is demotype@pabblytudes.com. Now as soon as I click on submit, what should happen? Since this is a new user, then the value should be added to my Google Sheet, and yes, you can see it has been added as a new row. Now let's say that the value already exists, so I'm going to just copy this, and here I'm going to go to Typeform once again, copy this link, open this in a new tab once again, and I'm going to just change the name. So let's say it is demo, and the last name is type1. Then the phone number is demotype@pabblytudes.com. Demotype@pabblytudes.com. I'm going to click on submit. Now as I do that, what should happen? The value should be updated, and here you can see instead of type1 has been written, which means only the value has been updated. So this means that our integration is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. I'm going to close this. Let's take you up. So here our trigger application was a form builder application. Here I have taken Typeform, where the event was new entry. Then our action application was Google Sheet, where first we had looked up the spreadsheet rows, and then our action application was router, which is a feature by Pabbly that helps you in putting conditions through filters. Here we have got two routes. First we have update contact. Here we had applied a filter that if the row index exists, then only this workflow should run. If it exists, then the action application will be Google Sheets, where the event would be update row. And the second one is new contact, where let's understand the filter and action step. Here if the row index does not exist, then this workflow should continue, and here it would be to add a new row in Google Sheet. I hope this is absolutely clear to you.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Google contacts from Typeform responses. So here is no worry to create again and again Google contacts, because you can just create a form using the form builder application Typeform, and every time the form is built, you will get a new Google contact created automatically using this automation that you will be creating using Pabbly Connect. In this automation, our trigger will be the submission received from the Typeform, and our action will be creating a contact in Google Contacts. Let us learn how to do that.
So let us create this integration that every time you want a new Google contact to be added, what you can do is just share the link of this Typeform that I have created, or you can create your own form and then like this, publishing. And once you publish, it will give you a link, open the link in a new tab, and then whosoever fills up the form, that contact will be automatically added in your Google contact. And this can be done by creating an automation. So let us quickly sign in into our automation software, that is Pabbly, so that I will reach this place where I can see all the applications provided to you by Pabbly. And we are going to use Pabbly Connect, that's given over here. Click on Access Now, and then you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see a big blue button on your right side where it's written create workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as create Google contacts from Typeform responses. Click on create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. Here you can see trigger and action, two windows. Trigger says when this happens and action says do this, which means that whenever a trigger will take place in this specific application, it will make sure that the action application performs the assigned action. Like here our trigger is going to be Typeform, because once the form will be filled, so the form filling and the submission of the form is going to be the trigger event, that is new entry of the form, and the action will be Google contacts and the event will be to create a new Google contact. So first of all, connect Typeform and Pabbly Connect so that Pabbly Connect receives the information of every form that will be submitted. So click on add new connection. Connect with Typeform, it will automatically detect your Typeform account. You just have to click on accept to give access to Pabbly Connect. Once this is done, authorization is successful, and then you will receive here the list of all the forms that you might have created in your Typeform account. I am going to use request form, it is already selected, but if you click on the drop down menu, you will get the list of all the forms. Request form is the form that will be filled for this specific workflow. Click on save and send test request, it will start waiting for a response. So you just have to go back to this place where you have opened the form link and then fill in the details. Like I'm going to fill my name over here. This is my name, the birth date, so the month and date, and then year is the format. So the month is 12th, the date is 11, and the year is this. This is the birth date. Okay, email address. Then we have the address. Okay, this is the address and the contact number. This is my contact number. I'll click on submit and the form has been submitted now. When I go back to Pabbly Connect, you see that we have received a response. First of all, the name of the form is here, address, email address. So all the questions will appear first, and then we have contact number, address, email address, the birth date, and the name of the contact, which means that we have received the Typeform entry successfully. Now we need to add one step over here between the trigger and action step, that is going to split the birth date into three different parts, that is month, date, and year, because that is how Google Contact needs it. So we will choose our first action application as text formatter. Now text formatter is a feature that is built inside Pabbly itself. The event over here is going to be split text because we are going to separate. Connection is not a difficult task because it is built inside Pabbly, so it will automatically connect. Now we just need to map the text that we need to split. So you click on the blank space and it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. Here they have given you the drop down menu for all the responses you have received in your previous step, that is Typeform, new entry. So you will just search from here, either you scroll down to the end, or what you can do is write in this search and map data, like this was the year, so yeah, here we have the date. In the search and map data, you can type any hint of the content you are looking for. So this one you want to split, the separator is going to be the hyphen between all of these because year, month and date are separated with the hyphen. So I will put hyphen as the separator, and I want what segment? I want all the segments. I want the year, month, date, all segments of the splitted text. Click on save and send test request and the response will be very clear. Year, month and date is separated. So this is how we will be needing it. Close this window and then click on this plus button in the end to add the next and the final action step. That is going to be your Google Contacts. So type your action application as Google Contacts over here. As I told you, the event is going to be to create a contact. Click on connect and then add new connection. Now sign in with your Google account in order to connect Google Contacts and Pabbly Connect. Choose your Google account, click on allow, that's how you give access, and then the authorization will be successful. Once this is done, you can see it says connected. Now you have to fill in the details like a general creation of contact that you do in your Google Contacts. But this time you are going to do it just for this one specific time. So in email addresses, you will put the email address. So as I told you, search and map data, I just wrote @ and here is the email address. Then you have the display name, family name, given name. So you will give the name in the given name over here. So what was the name? This was the name. You mapped the name over here. Then we have the address. So address formatted values. So if you would have entered the address in different sections, you would have used commas, but we have address at one single place. So I will just write like this. Yeah, here we have the complete address over here. Then you scroll down for your field, birth year, birth month and birthday. See, I told you. So in year, you're going to map it from the text formatter. This is the year. What was the month? The month was 12. And then the day, so the day was 11. So that's how we have split it and used the birth date. Next, we have the gender, but we did not specify any gender. So how can you guarantee which is the gender of this contact? So what you're going to do is you can map this over here, and then when it is mapped, so you can erase this part. The good part is that it does not ask you any required field, so you can just leave it open, not specific or not important to mention the gender. Now it's time for phone number. So you're going to map the phone number from here. So this was the phone number. And I guess we are done with all the important details that are required to create a contact. Now we will simply click on Save and Send Test Request and wait for the response from Google Contacts to a contact be created. And here we have received the response. It shows no error, which means that there is no problem in our workflow. Our contact has been created. Once this is done, you can close this step of action application, that is Google Contacts over here, and then we'll go back to your Google Contacts. What you can do is just refresh it once, and here we have the contact, the name, the email address and the phone number. If you open this contact, you will see the address, and here we have the birthday as well, which means that the contact has been created successfully. Now every time a person you have shared this link with is going to fill the form, a contact will automatically be created. So there is no need to create another contact. Just remember that when you create this workflow, you split the text using the text formatter by Pabbly. So this was the whole workflow.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to create presentation in Google Slides from Typeform responses. Now suppose guys, you have created some kind of online form using Typeform and you're getting some data from the users using that form. And you want to use that data and create some kind of presentations in Google Slide in bulk, and that too automatically. So in this video, we will see how you can automate this process. And in this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form response in Typeform, automatically with the same details, we are going to create a new presentation in Google Slides. So in Google Slides, we already have a template, and in that template, we are going to put in the form responses which we are going to receive from Typeforms. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Typeforms to Google Slides. And then just click on Create Typeform to Google Slides. Now you can see that a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. Now the idea here is, first we have to connect our form which we have created using Typeform with Pabbly Connect, so that every time we receive a new form submission, a new form response in Typeform, automatically that form response should be captured inside our Pabbly Connect workflow. Then after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those form responses to Google Slide, and in our Google Slides account, we have created this template of a certificate. So in this video, I'm just taking an example of certificate, like using Google Slides. I want to create some certificates for the event in which the students have participated. So here I have created a form which I'm going to share with the students where they can enter their details. And with the same details, I want to create the certificates for the event's participation. And after that, after creating these certificates using Pabbly Connect's automation, all of these certificates will be stored in Google Drive of the same account over here in a specific folder. So let's see how it is done. Now here in Trigger window, in Choose App, search for Typeform. Just select it. After selecting Typeform in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select Trigger Event as New Entry. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. So here guys, we have to connect our Typeform account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Connect with Typeform button. And then here, because we have already logged into our Typeform account in our browser, Pabbly Connect has detected the same account. Just scroll down and then we have to click on this accept button over here. And as we click on accept, we will see our Typeform account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the next thing it asks us is the form. And here in this drop down, you can see all the forms which you have created in your Typeform account. Right now in my Typeform account, I have created only two forms. First one is named as contact form and second one is named as certification form. So out of all of the form which we have created, the form submission, the form responses from which particular form we want to capture inside Pabbly Connect. So I have created this form named as certification form, using which we want to create the certificates or the new slides or documents in Google Slides. So from this drop down, I'm going to select this particular form over here. And after this, what we have to do, we just have to click on Save and Send Test Request. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that it has now changed to Waiting for Response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some response, some data from Typeform of a new form submission. So let's do it. We will go to the form which we have created using Typeform. We will get the share link of this particular form and then open it in a new tab over here. After opening this form, we are going to enter the details of a test user, a dummy user, and make a form submission in this form. Let's click on Start and then let's enter the name. For example, demo user. This is the name of the person. Then let's move to the next tab. The email address is this. This is the email address. Now the next thing it asks us is the mobile number. So let me enter a dummy mobile number. Then it is asking us for the age. For example, I'll enter the age as 8 years. And then participation events. So here we have an option that in which particular event the student or the person has participated. So we have several events over here, out of which I'm just going to select the 100 meters race. And then it is asking us the date, that on which particular date this event has occurred. And for the same date, we are going to create the certificate as well. We are going to mention the same date on the certificate. For example, I'll take the year date as 14th of April 1404. 2023, and let's click on submit. So as we click on submit, we will see just now we have received a new form response, a new submission in the form which you have created using Typeform. And because we have connected this form with Pabbly Connect, we will see the same form submission data, the same form response will be received inside Pabbly Connect as well. So we'll go to Pabbly Connect, and yes, here in the trigger window of Pabbly Connect, where we have connected our Typeform account, you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you will see the exact same details of the form submission. So we will just scroll down to this responses and we will see the same form submission details. So let's search for these details. And yes, here you can see that the same phone number which we have entered while submitting the form. We'll scroll down. Here you can see the same email address which we have entered. Then you can see the same name. Then we'll scroll down further and then we will see some other details regarding to it as well. Like here we have entered the age as 8, so here you can see the 8. The event which we have selected was 100 meters race. You can see the same event. And then here you can see the same date, 23rd, 2023, 0414. So 14th of April, 2023. This means, guys, the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully received the form submission, the form responses from Typeform inside our Pabbly Connect in the trigger window. Now, every time we are going to receive a new form submission, this automation workflow is going to get triggered, and with the same form submission responses, a new slide will be created in Google Slide. Now, after completing the step 1, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, using these details, we want to create a new slide in Google Slide from the template which we have already created. So for that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Google Slides. And then just select it. After selecting Google Slides, in action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create Presentation from Template. Just select it, click on Connect, and select Add New Connection. So here, guys, we are going to connect our Google Slides account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Sign In with Google button. After that, just select your Google Slides account in which you have created the template. And then just scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Slides account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the template presentation. that all the presentation, all the slides which we have created in our Google Slides account, out of all of them, from which particular template we want to create this new slide. So here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the presentations which I have created in my Google Slides account. Out of all of this, we are going to use this template named as participation certificate template. So I have created a dedicated template to create certificates of participation for all the users who are submitting the form. You just have to create a template presentation in your Google Slides account using which you want to create new slides, new presentation for every form submission. So here I have created this template. So I'm going to select this exact same template from this drop down, participation certificate template. After selecting the presentation, the template, the next thing it asks us of title of new presentation. That the new presentation which we are going to create, what will be the title of that new presentation? So I want the title of the new presentation, the new slide which we are going to create, to be a combination of the name of the person and the email of the person. So here, the user who is submitting the form, I want to mention the name of the person, and after a hyphen, I want to mention the email of the person. This will be the file name of the new slides, the new presentation which we are going to create. So how you can do that? For that, the form responses, the form submission data which we have received in our trigger window, from these responses, we have to map the name of the person and the email of the person over here in this field of title of new presentation. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field, and here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Typeform of a new form submission. Out of all of these responses, first select the response of the name of the person because we want to add the name of the person as the first response. So let's search for the response of name of the person. And here it is. This is the response. Just select it and map it over here. After this, just add a hyphen, and then we wanted to mention or add the email address of the person. So from this drop down, once again, just select the email address over here. And here it is. So whatever name and email address the user is going to enter while submitting the form, with the same name and email address will be the file name for the presentation for the certificate which we have created using Google Slides for them. And as I told you, all the presentation, all the slides which we are going to create using this automation, all of those slides are going to get stored in our Google Drive folder of the same Google Slides account. And here in the next step, it is asking us the same thing, new presentation location. So that it is asking us that the new presentations, new slides which we are going to create using these details and the template, on which folder, on which specific folder in our Google Drive account, we want to save these new slides. So here guys, in this drop down, you can see a list of all the folders which we have created in our Google Drive account. Out of all of this, I have created a dedicated folder named as certificates over here. And in this particular folder, I want to store all the slides, all the certificates which we create. So here guys, what we have to do, we just have to select that particular folder over here from this drop down. After selecting the folder, here you can see some fields, event, date of participation, current date, and the name. Now here you must be thinking, what are these fields? So we'll get back to the template slide which we have created. And in this template size, here you can see that I have added some text in double curly braces over here. Here we can see the name, here we have the event, here we have the date of participation in double curly braces, and here we have the current date over here. So here guys, the name, event, date of participation, current date, all of these things, all of this text which we are going to enter in place of this are going to keep on changing for every new slide, every new form submission which we get. So every time we will get a new name, the event will be different, the date of participation will be different, and the current date will also be different. So here, these details are going to be some dynamic text, some variables which will be keep on changing. And to add these kind of dynamic text, to add these kind of variables in our slide which we are going to create using this automation, we add some text in these double curly braces. And whatever text we are going to enter in this double curly braces, the same text can be seen over here inside Pabbly Connect as fields. So here you can see we have added name, and here in Pabbly Connect, you can see name over here. Now after that, here you can see event we have added in double curly braces. Here you can see the name of the event. Then you can see the date of participation which we have written over here. You can see date of participation, and at last we have the current date. So you can see the same field of current date over here. Now here in Pabbly Connect, in this field, we want to mention, we have to basically enter that what are the text, what are the details which we want to add in place of these variables of a new slide which we are going to create. Like here guys, I'm going to create a new slide, a new presentation or a new certificate for this form submission which we have received. And in that particular side, I want to mention the details which I have received from this form submission. So one by one, we are going to map these details from this form submission over here in their respective fields. Like the first field which we have is of event. So here guys, from the drop down from Typeform responses, we have received the response of the event which user has selected while submitting the form. Here it is 100 meters race, which we have selected while making the test form submission. So we are going to select that same response and map it over here. Then we have the date of participation. So the form submitting user has also entered the date of participation over here. So from this drop down, you can select the same date over here. Then we have the current date. Like in current date, you can manually enter the current date, that on which particular date this basically form submission is happening, or for which particular date you want to create the certificate. Or instead of manually entering it, here in response, you can see that we have received a response in the initial stages of responses, that is the date submitted at, that at what date and time this form was submitted. So using a feature of Pabbly Connect that is called date time formatter, you can change the format of this date and get the current date over here, that on what particular date this form is submitted, on the same date this certificate will be generated. So either we have two options. We can get the date from form submission, that on whatever date the form is submitted, for the same date the certificate will be created. Like we can add the current date, today's date over here. Or what we can do, we can manually enter a specific date for each and every certificate over here. Now I want to add the current date, and to add a current date in our automation workflow, we can use a feature of Pabbly Connect, a module of Pabbly Connect that is called date time formatter. For that, just click on this add action step button before this Google slide step, and here in choose app, search for date time formatter. Just select it. After selecting date time formatter in action event from the drop down, select the action event as current date over here. Then just click on connect. After clicking on a connect, it is asking us basic format, that in which particular format we want the current date. So here in the drop down, you can see a list of different formats. Out of all of them, we want to select the format of year, month and date. So in the same format, we have received the date of participation from Typeform responses, as you can see over here. Here it is, year, month and date. And in the same form, we want to add the current date as well. Then it is asking us include time in response, that do we want to add the current time in the response or not. So we don't want to add the time. So we have selected false over here. And then just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received the response. We have received the current date over here in response. And we are going to map the same response of current date over here in this field. So right now, after clicking here in the drop down, you can't see any data to map. This is because we have added a new step before this Google slide step. So what we have to do, we just have to click on this connected button in Google slide, just select the existing connection and click on save. We just have to reconnect our Google Slides account, this action step. And after reconnecting it, once again click on this field, and now you can see both the steps from the previous step, the mapping data from both the previous steps over here. We can see the Typeform responses and also the response from datetime formatter. And from the response of datetime formatter, map the response of current date over here. Then at last, we have this field of name, where we wanted to mention the name of the participant. So we have received the name of the participant from Typeform responses. So from the drop down from Typeform responses, just select the response of name and map it over here. Here it is, and map it. So in this way, you can basically add any variable, any dynamic text and n number of dynamic text according to your requirement. Like if you want to add 10 dynamic text over here in the slide which you have created in Google Slide in your template, you can add them and you can get all of those details in the Typeform responses which you are creating. So you just have to get the details from Typeform responses using the form submission from the user, and you can add all of those details of your choice over here in this template and create new slides, new presentation using those details over here. So after mapping the details on all of their respective fields, just click on Save and Send Test Request. Now after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, using these details and the template which we have selected, a new presentation is being created in our Google Slides account. And the presentation which was created is stored in this particular folder in our Google Drive, and the name of the presentation is this, whatever data which we have entered or mapped over here in this title of new presentation section. So let's check it. We will go to this particular Google Drive folder. We'll just go there, and yes, here you can see that a new slide, a new presentation has been created in this particular folder. The name of the presentation is the exact same name, the combination of the name of the user who has submitted the form and after a hyphen their email address. Now when we will open this presentation, when we will open this slide, here you can see that the details in this slides are the exact same details which we have received from form submission. Here you can see the same name. Then after this, guys, here you can see the same event which we have entered over here. So in our template section, here you can see that after performance in, here we have mentioned the variable of event. We have written event in double curly braces. And we have mentioned the name of the event from form responses over here in this field of event. And here in the new presentation, you can see the exact same event over here. Then here you can see the exact same date which the user has entered while submitting the form. And then here you can see the current date, the date on which we are generating this certificate. This automation is basically running. The same date, the same time when the user has submitted the form. So this means the automation workflow which we have created in this video using Pabbly Connect is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new response in Typeform, using those responses, using those form submission data, automatically we can create new slides, new presentations in our Google Slides account with that template. And those new presentations will be stored in our Google Drive folder. So guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once in real time. For that, we'll get back to Typeform, and then here we are going to create another form submission. We are going to enter a new details and submit the form. So let's start. This time, let's change the name of the person as test user. This is the name. Now let's enter the email address as well. This is the email address of the person. Then let's add the demo mobile number, the age, the event. Let's select the event as music competition and the event date as 16th of April 2023 and click on submit. So just now we have submitted a form using Typeform. In our Typeform, we have received a new response. And as we receive this response, we will see automatically within few seconds, using the same form submission details, a new certificate will be generated with the same template which we have selected in this automation workflow. So let's check our Google Drive account. We'll go to Google Drive. We'll just refresh our folder once. And yes, here you can see that within seconds, a new slide, a new presentation is created and stored in our specific Google Drive folder, which we have selected. And the name of the presentation is the same name, the name of the person, test user, and after a hyphen, we can see the same email address, which we have entered in form submission. When we will open this presentation, we will see this is the exact same template of certificate which we have selected. And here you can see the same details. You can see the same name, same event for which we have selected the form submission, same date, and also the same current date, today's date on which we have created this certificate over here. This means the automation workflow which we have created is working perfectly fine, and we have tested this automation as well.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to send Typeform responses to Google Chat as messages. So like you have created a form and whatever responses you will be receiving through that form, like you have used the Typeform as your form builder application. So you want to send those responses in your Google Chat as a message. So why to send them again and again manually, rather create an automation with the help of Pabbly Connect, where our trigger will be the response received and our action will be to send that message in Google Chat. Let us learn how to do it.
So let us integrate Typeform and Google Chat in such a way that as soon as a person fills up this form and submits this form that I have opened in a separate tab, the entry will be recorded as a message that will be appearing in the space that you might have created in your Google Chat. So let us create this automation with the help of Pabbly. Quickly sign in into our account. Then I'll reach this place where I can see all the applications provided by Pabbly. We are going to use Pabbly Connect for this purpose. Click on Access Now and you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you will see a big blue button on your right hand side where it's written Create Workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Send new Typeform entries to Google Chat as messages. Click on Create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. As you can see on your screen, we have a trigger and action. Trigger says when this happens and action says do this. So our trigger for this workflow is going to be Typeform, because we are going to fill the form over here that will trigger this whole workflow, and the action application will be Google Chat, will be sending that message that will be received from Typeform into the space that we have created. So let us choose our trigger application as Typeform. And the event is going to be new entry. Click on connect, add new connection and connect with Typeform. Make sure that you have opened your Typeform account in a separate tab. Just give access to Pabbly Connect so that Pabbly Connect can capture the responses that will be received in this form that you will be filling over here. So now it has already detected the form name because we have opened the form link over here. Click on save and send test request and then it will start waiting for a response. So we are supposed to go to the form and then fill up the form. So the form details are first the name of the person. So I'm going to take it as demo user. Then the suggestion for the new project. So I have given the suggestion as to make models to represent the ideas. Okay, and then the contact information. So it has already chosen the contact code. You can choose this while filling up the form and submit. So the form has been submitted. Now we'll go back to Pabbly Connect and see that we will receive a response soon. Yeah, this is the response that we have received. When you scroll down, you will find that it's here. The name is here, the idea is here, and the phone number is also here. Now, since we have received the complete response from the form, we are going to transfer this to the Google Chat. That is going to be our action application. So let us choose our action application as Google Chat. Here it is. And then the event is going to create a message. Connect your applications. It will automatically be connected. And then because I have opened my Google Chat over here, so it is easy for Pabbly Connect to connect. Now we have to enter the chat webhook URL. You will get this URL when you go to this drop-down menu, apps and integrations over here. Then you have to manage the webhooks, and then there are already created webhooks, so you can add one more over here. So I'm going to add as suggestions as the name, and then you have to enter the avatar URL. So in case of avatar URL, you have to go to this click here link. It will give you the link address that you need to copy and paste it over there. So this is the link. Copy it and paste it in this area. Save. And then you will be provided another link which you need to copy and then bring here to paste that. Now this was the chat webhook URL that you have just created, and then you have to enter the message. So now you have to write name colon and then map the name. So the name of the person was demo user. We have mapped this in this way. When you click on that empty field, it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. So for that previous step, you will get this drop down menu which you will open, and then you can choose from these suggestions what you want to enter over here. Now we will put a slash and n because you want the next line to come under the name line, right? So now you will write the suggestion and colon and then map the suggestion over here. So it was this. This was the suggestion. Again a slash and n that will do the work of enter. So now we will have contact colon and then the contact, which is this. Once this is done, our message has been created. So we will just click on save and send test request and see the response will be received like this. And this is the format. By putting slash and n over here, we were able to bring all the contact details or all the details one by one in next and separate lines. So while this is done, save this step and then we'll go back to our Google Chat to check, yes, we have received this message over here, the name, the suggestion and the contact over here. So which means that our workflow has been a great success. Let us do a quick recap that our trigger was Typeform, where we created a form, filled the form and the entry was made. So the response was received and that response was used to send a message using Google Chat. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
In this video, I'm going to select an instruction from the drop-down of this form, and after the selection you will see a content will be generated automatically based on my instruction, and the same content will be even shared automatically in one of my Slack channel with the team. Okay, so let me first select an instruction in front of you. Okay, so I have selected write a blog on, and here I will share a topic. Okay, let me submit this form and refresh this particular Slack channel and wait for that content to be generated, wait for that content to be shared with my Slack channel. Okay, I'll have to refresh it. All right, here you can see the content has got generated and the messages also arrived. Let me read it. Hello team, I have just created a content using OpenAI. Instruction was to write a blog. Here is the title, best places to visit in India in April month. Here you can see it is the same title, and here we have the content. Okay, April is one of the best months to visit in India. With its pleasant weather and lush green hills, it is perfect time for a holiday. And here you can see it has also shared some of the places to visit. Okay, now isn't that amazing that within a single click my task is completed? Now you must be thinking that how did I manage to generate this content, how did I manage to share this particular message in my Slack channel? So basically for the content generation part, I have used this OpenAI application, and then I have built a connection in this Typeform form builder software, in this OpenAI software which is for content generation, and finally the Slack application. And how I have connected these three applications? With the help of Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing integration and automation software, and I am an existing user of Pabbly Connect. So here you can see I'm already logged in. You can also create your free account in just 2 minutes from this sign up free button, and in the free account you will also get free tasks to test this automation. Now once you will reach to the dashboard, simply click on this blue button that is create workflow and provide any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I'm going to provide the name something like automate the content generation and content sharing via, or you can say on form submission. Okay, I'm providing this particular name. Now simply click on create, and then you will find 2 boxes in front of you. So these are trigger and action. So here trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So whenever this happens, then automatically do this. Understand with an example also. Whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, then automatically send an email via Gmail application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the application in which you are building an automation. Okay, according to our use case, firstly I'm going to select this Typeform form submission because I want that every time I select an option via this form, the content should be generated automatically using OpenAI application. So that is why in the action I'm selecting this application, and the same content should be shared on Slack channel. So that is why further I am going to select this Slack application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. Okay, now firstly I am going to connect these 3 applications one by one with the Pabbly Connect. Okay, so firstly select this trigger event. So I want that whenever a new entry is made in this Typeform form builder software, this automation should trigger, or you can say this automation should capture the details of the form. Okay, so simply click on this connect with the Typeform and provide the access of your Typeform application. Okay, well I am already logged in into my Typeform application, so instead of asking me for the credential, it is directly asking me for the permission. Okay, so I have accepted that, and here you can see the authorization is successful and Typeform is now connected with the Pabbly Connect. Now here you can see whatever the forms are available inside my account have started visible here. Well, currently I just have a single form only, that is task assigning form, so that is why only single form is visible here. I can close this window. Okay, and now I am going to click on this button save and send test request, and you can see it has started waiting for the response. Now read the instructions that once you have clicked over the save and send test request button, do a test submission or record in that application in order to capture the response here. So basically it is asking to do a test submission or record, and here the test submission means making of a new entry into your form. Okay, so here you can see I have created this form, that is the task assigning form. Okay, let me edit this form. Alright, so you can see I have added 4 fields. One is for which task you would like to perform, please select, okay. And in this particular case, I have provided 3 choices, that is write a blog, write an email and write a description, okay. And I have also applied the conditional logic here. So if person is going to select this particular field, it will directly jump to this particular section, that is write a blog on, and from here exactly you can provide your title of the blog, or you can provide the subject of your email, or you can provide the topic for your YouTube video, okay. So this is how I have created this form and have applied different logics into this form, okay. So let me click on this share and let me show you this particular form, okay. So I have clicked on share and then I'm going to copy the link of this particular form, okay. Alright, so this is my form, and as I have told you, Pabbly Connect is still waiting for that form submission, okay. So let me make a dummy submission here, just a random, okay. So this time I am going to select this write a blog as an instruction, okay. Doesn't matter, you can select any of the options. Now it is asking that write a blog on which particular topic, okay. So how about I write something like best places to visit in Manali, okay. And let me submit this form. Come back to Pabbly Connect and wait for that response to receive. And here you can see the response is received. Let me show you the details one by one, okay. So here we have the date and time of the submission, okay. Let me also show you other details. Here we have the name of the form, the title of the form, okay. So we have several options into the drop down. Here we have the write a blog on, okay. Basically this is the option which we have selected. Here we have the first field of the form, and this is how I have all the data, okay. And the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between our Typeform and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine, okay. Now I am going to send this data to OpenAI application so that I can generate a content automatically on which particular title, basically the title which I have provided via the form submission, that is write a blog on which topic, that is best places to visit in Manali, okay. So let me first connect to OpenAI with Pabbly Connect, just like I have connected Typeform and Pabbly Connect, okay. So in the action event, firstly I'll go with this generate content, then I'm going to click on connect, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token, okay. So here you can directly click on this hyperlink and it will directly take you to that specific page, okay. So now before I generate this code and provided here, let me first show you how you can reach to the website of OpenAI, okay. So you will have to type openai.com in your browser, and this is how you can reach out to the website of OpenAI. Now simply create an account here, and once you will create an account, you will reach to the overview page. After that you'll have to visit this playground section, okay. Well, as the name suggests, we are actually going to play with the content, okay. So whatever the instruction you are going to provide here and click on this button submit, it will respond you back with a content, okay. So let me even show you with an example, okay. Write a story on dog and then click on submit and wait for that story to be generated, and here you can see it has already started writing a story, something like once upon a time there was a little girl named Sarah. She had always wanted a pet dog, but her parents had never wanted to get her one, okay. So here you can notice that how this OpenAI application has generated the content automatically, okay. And let me show you some basic settings of this particular application, okay. So first one is the mode, okay. So you can select any mode here. I have selected this complete mode. Second one is the model, okay. So based on which particular column you would like to start generating the content, okay. And you can read the instructions as per the model, okay. So I'm going to use this text the Vinci 003 model in order to generate the content, asking for the temperature maximum length, okay. So again read the instructions. So this temperature basically controls the randomness, okay. You can even read the instructions that lowering the results in less random completion. As the temperature approaches to 0, the model will become more deterministic and repetitive. So basically you'll have to provide some value in order to generate a unique content. Now let's jump to the maximum length, basically the maximum number of tokens to generate, okay. And one token is roughly equal to, let me show you. It is saying, you can read the last line. One token is roughly 4 characters for normal English text. So basically in this way you can decide the length of your content. Okay, stop sequence, enter the sequence and press tab. Okay, so up to 4 sequences where the API will stop generating for the content. Okay, so let's say you have provided some instruction here, something like write a reply for a comment, and if you will start providing your comment here, okay, after that comment section you can provide the stop sequence. So let's say I have decided this particular sequence for the stop sequence. Okay, let me first add it, then after that, okay, let me first copy it. Okay, and after that, nice video. Okay, so assume that I have provided this particular instruction, after that I can use this stop sequence. Okay, so this is how one by one you can read these instructions and do the settings. But why I am showing you these settings, because the same settings we will have to do into our Pabbly Connect also. Okay, so I have given you a basic idea of these settings. Now apart from the stop sequences, we further have 5 to 6 more settings. Okay, so you can again read the instructions, and let me tell you about this best of. Well, this is something via which you can decide that what number of copies should be generated for a single content, and among those copies, best of which particular copy should be fetched out. Okay, you can even read the instructions. It generates a multiple completion server side and displays only the best. Okay, so let's say you have provided best of 3, so it is going to generate 3 copies for that content and then give you the result of the best copy. Okay, so this is how you can read these instructions and understand the setting. Okay, so let me go back to the API page and let me first generate a new token. Okay, so I have generated it, copied it, come back to Pabbly Connect, paste it and click on save, and this is how you can connect your OpenAI application with the Pabbly Connect. Now here you can see these are the same settings. Okay, as I have told you, it was asking me to select the model name, that is text the Vinci 003. So I am going to select the same model here also, that is text the Vinci 003. Okay, it is also asking for the maximum number of tokens. Again, it is the same value via which you can decide the length of your content. Okay, so firstly let me provide a prompt. Okay, so what is this prompt? So let me again take you to the OpenAI's dashboard, and if I will click on this view code button, you will able to notice that prompt, that is write a reply for a comment. Okay, so whatever the data I am going to provide in this particular prompt, basically whatever the instructions I am going to provide here will considered as a prompt. Okay, so I want to provide an instruction, which I have provided via the form submission, and this form submission, which instruction I have provided? Okay, so I have provided the instruction to write a blog on this particular topic. So I am going to add these 2 values in that specific field. Okay, so where is our answer? Write a blog on which topic? In this best places to visit in Manali. So I'm going to map these 2 details. Alright, so you will have to map this particular instruction, that is form response definition fields 1 title, because we have received this particular thing as a response. We have selected the same instruction via the form submission at the time of form submission. Okay, so here I'm going to map this data, and mapping is very simple. When you will click on this field, you will find the above data here in the drop down. Simply search for that specific data. Alright, so I have searched for the instruction, and then I am going to add the name of the title. Okay, it was best places to visit in Manali. This is the search bar. Okay, so I have provided the instruction that write a blog on best places to visit in Manali, asking for the tokens. Well, I am going to leave all these fields blank, and it will automatically take the default value. Here you can see default value. It is going to take these values automatically. Okay, best of value I will keep it as 1 only. Okay, now I am going to click on this button in front of you, and you will see how the content will be generated on the same topic which we have just provided into our prompt as a prompt. Okay, so under this choices 0 text, you can read the content. Okay, Manali is a popular hill station in India and a perfect destination for couples, backpackers and families alike. Okay, it is situated into the Kulu Valley of Himachal Pradesh and is known for its spectacular natural beauty. Okay, so this is the content, and it has also shared some of the amazing places idea. Okay, so this is how you can generate the content within Pabbly Connect with the help of automation. And now I am going to share this content with my team on Slack channel. Okay, so I have already selected the application. Now I am going to select the action event as send channel message, and again I am going to connect Slack with the Pabbly Connect, just like I have connected the above two applications with the Pabbly Connect, asking for user or the bot. So you can read the difference in between user and bot. Okay, so if you want to send the channel message, which particular thing here I'll have to provide. Okay, so here you can see if I will select the user, it will provide me these permissions, and if I will select this bot, it is going to provide me these permission. Okay, so here also I have the permission of send channel message. So how about I go with this user only. Okay, come back to Pabbly Connect, copy this user, paste it here, and then click on save, and this is how your Slack will be connected. And now it is going to ask you for the permission, since I am already logged in into my Slack account. Alright, so click on allow, and the authorization is successful, and my Slack account will be connected with Pabbly Connect. Alright, it is connected. Now since we are connected, it is showing me the channels. Okay, so whatever the channels are available inside my Slack account have started visible here. Okay, and I'm going to select this particular channel, that is announcements, since I would like to share all the messages into this channel only. Okay, so let me search for this announcement channel. Alright, here we have this channel. Okay, I can close this section also and this section also, and I think I can close this form also. Okay, now finally it is asking for the message to be composed here. Okay, well, I have already created a very short and a nice message into my notepad so that I can save a time and show you things very quickly. Okay, so I want that this particular message should get sent automatically. Along with this, I am also going to share that content. Okay, which I have just generated into my previous step. Okay, so hello team, I have just created a content using OpenAI. Instruction was, okay, so what was the instruction? And here exactly I'm going to provide the instruction. And as I have told you, we can provide the data of our previous step with the help of mapping. Okay, so I'm going to open this particular step, and then I'm going to provide the instruction, and my instruction was write a blog. Okay, so I have mapped the instruction as well. Here is the title and its content. Okay, so here I am going to add the title as well, and let me show you. If you would like to do the formatting to your message, you can check this particular documentation, and for the bold I can show you. You just need to add this asterisk sign. Okay, that is the star sign. Okay, and in this way you can bold your things. I would also like to bold this. Here is the title, and here I'm going to provide the title. Well, the title was best places to visit Manali. Okay, so I have also mapped the title. Now you must be thinking that what is this mapping all about, which I am doing here. Okay, so whatever the details we are mapping here, these details will automatically be replaced when this automation will work in real time, and whatever the details I'm providing here manually, these details will remain same. Okay, so that is why I am mapping the important things. So assume that in the next time I'm selecting the instruction as write an email. So in that case, this particular value will be replaced with that new instruction, and the title, the subject line will be also replaced. Basically, this title will be replaced with that subject line. Okay, so this is how mapping is going to take place and the automation is going to take place. Okay, and here I will map the content. Okay, and remember, we have received the content from this OpenAI under this choices 0 text. So I have mapped the content, and last line will be this. Okay, so let me now show you the whole message. Hello team, I have just created a content using OpenAI. Instruction was this. Here is the title, content. Okay, and lastly I am adding this line, that is kindly review the content and pass it to the respective team. Okay, Thanks, your manager. Okay, so I have composed this message. Now it is asking for the image URL, image alt text, the bot name, the bot icon. Well, again, it is completely up to you. If you would like to share any image URL, you can add the same, provide its alt text, bot name, bot icon. So how about I provide any random bot name, something like the sample bot, and now I am going to directly click on this button, save and send test request, because I'm really excited to receive that automatic message on my Slack channel. Alright, so the message is received. Basically, the response is received. Let me go back to my Slack channel, and here let us check the message. And here the message is also received. It is the same title, that is best places to visit in Manali. Okay, hello team, I have just created a content using OpenAI. Instruction was write a blog on. Now why it has not supported the formatting, basically the bold, I'll have to check. I think I have provided extra spaces in this asterisk. Okay, so let me remove the same first. Alright, so this time I have received the message along with the formatting, along with the board as well, and yes, it was because of those extra spaces only. Okay, so hello team, I have just created a content using OpenAI. Instruction was write a blog on. Here's the title, best places to visit in Manali. Content, Manali is a popular hill station in India, and here we have those suggestions as well. Thanks, your manager. Okay, so this is how now onwards you can entirely automate your content creation part. Okay, so let's say you want to generate the content for blog, you want to generate emails, you want to generate the descriptions, or you want to generate any kind of content. You can take those values in this particular form, basically in the drop down of that form. Whatever the task you would like to perform, you can take those values into this drop down, and then you can build a connection in between your Typeform formula software, in between OpenAI, and in between Slack with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now in order to automate this process, you need to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that, you can simply close Pabbly Connect. You can sit back and relax, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. And just in case if you want to access this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, I will also attach the shareable link of my workflow into the description box. Simply click on this link, sign up into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access this workflow, this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free. Not just these applications, you can integrate multiple applications and automate your business with Pabbly Connect. You can ask your queries at forum.pabbly.com. My team will surely answer to your questions. This is the website of Pabbly Connect, and for the latest updates of Pabbly Connect and unique automation ideas, you can join our Facebook group, that is formget.deals. If you have found this video helpful in any way, share it with your friends and colleagues, and also help them to automate their business. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.